So you're probably wondering where what? If you had told me when I was 13 that I would give away $1 million in a single video, I just wouldn't have even known how much money that was. I would have been like, is that more than $100? I mean, $50 was a lot to me back then. I just from a small town, relatively small town in North Carolina. Just grew up with my brother. My mom raised us. Nothing too crazy. As weird as it sounds, especially when I was younger, I really didn't like being around people. And I have a very obsessive personality. When I like something, it just consumes my life. My first instance of that was probably baseball. I didn't want to do anything else. My first time going on the baseball field for a Little League practice was just the most awkward thing ever. Like, I didn't know how to socialize. I was beyond shy. Even if there was a person in front of me, like, good luck getting me to talk to them. It's impossible. But outside of sports, it was just literally YouTube. That was all I watched. I have a memory of this one video I watched back then where one of my favorite creators, Woody's Gamertag, quit his job and went full-time on YouTube. And this was like before, like, a lot of people didn't even know you could make money on YouTube back then. I remember seeing that. I was like 12, and it kind of just clicked in my head. I was like, wait a minute, you can make money doing this. That's one of my first memories of when, like, I really started consuming YouTube, because then from that point I was like, oh, like, I kind of want to do this.
Look at it. Isn't it beautiful? Quadruple digits.
That's the type of stuff I was making when I was like 14, 15 on YouTube. And then when I was 15 years old, I got diagnosed with Crohn's. It was pretty rough. Basically, your intestines are inflamed, and because they're inflamed, you don't process food as well. So if I ate something, it would just go right through me, like literally within a day. And because it's so inflamed, it's like someone's just dragging like a knife across your stomach. So it was super painful. I went from like 180 pounds down to 139. I remember 139 because that was my lowest, which at 6'2" was like a frail little twig. I mean, I barely could get out of bed. I had no energy to do anything. I didn't even want to go to school. And I just hated my life back then. It was really miserable. I probably would have tried to play baseball in college, but because of Crohn's, it definitely changed the trajectory. And I was like, all right, I'm done with that. And then I just went all in on YouTube, and I was beyond obsessed. Me being shy and not liking talking and not having much confidence were like such a big obstacle. But despite that, I still just did it just because I just wanted it so bad. And I was like, you know what? Like, I don't like talking to people, but I just really like making videos. So as weird as that sounds, so I just got to get used to it because this is just kind of what I enjoy doing. When I first started, I had this really crappy hand-me-down laptop. I think my brother got it for Christmas, and I ended up kind of just like stealing it and using it. I didn't know how to edit. I didn't know how to paste the video. I didn't know how to do anything. I basically had nothing, knew nothing, had no money, and just was just like grabbing things and like, we're just gonna try to make this work. In the first few years, I didn't make anything on YouTube because I wasn't in the partner program. To get ads on your videos, you gotta be kind of big. A lot of my earlier videos, they sucked because I just wasn't entertaining back then. I was stupid. Every night before bed, I'd just be like, it sucks. It's a lot of work and I feel like I'm not getting anywhere. But if I just do it long enough, eventually it'll click. Eventually I'll figure it out. I don't know why I had that kind of mindset at such a young age, but it's just like, I just love it and I just couldn't stop. I've just always felt pulled to it. I don't understand. I don't get it. Just thinking about possibly being a YouTuber one day was enough to keep me happy. I never wanted to go to college. My whole goal in all of high school was to never go to college. I was just like, if I can just make enough money before high school is over, I can just do this. That's where I like doubled, tripled, quadrupled down on YouTube. I'm like, oh, I'm still only making a few bucks a day. Like, we got to figure this out. So I went, but I just stopped going to classes and I just didn't tell my mom. And I would film videos while I was at college is what I would tell her. But somehow when I got there, maybe I just got a big spark of motivation and went harder. But that's when things actually clicked and like my viewership did start going up quite a bit. So like in that first month of college, I did start making enough money to move out. Probably like $1,000 a month or something. I would wake up, work on videos, and then I'd go to bed. That's where I just went hyperdrive. It's definitely where I got really weird with it.
I'm about to count to 100,000.
To be honest, no one on YouTube has ever done something that stupid, just counting for 40 hours. Let's 1, 2, 3, 4. It garnered a ton of attention. It's one of my first like real viral videos, and that's where it kind of clicked, like, oh, like if I do interesting things, people will watch. 100,000. And that's when I kind of just realized that, like, if I really go all in, I really be creative and unique, and I do things that just no one else would do because they're so hard and take so much effort, right? People have no choice but to watch it because it's just interesting, you know what I mean? All right, so this is where things get fun. My first ever actual brand deal. Basically, this agent manager kind of guy that represents Quid called me and was like, hey, we'll give you $5,000 for a video, which was insane at the time. Just I make a video and I get $5,000. And I remember this vividly because I'm just standing in my driveway and I'm like, no, I want $10,000. And he's like, 5,000. I'm like, no, I want 10,000. I just want to walk out my front door and go give it to a homeless person. And he's like, really?
Hey, well, I'm a YouTuber. I mean, you can see the camera. So if you want to take it, it's about $10,000. I'm not joking.
The video did great. Obviously, the guy was happy, Quid was happy, I was happy, and since it did so well, I literally took that money and I did another one. So I had this idea, if I take this branded money and I give it away in a video, that video will do well. And then I take the money from that video and I give it away in the next video and that video will do well. And kind of like create this cycle. That's when I was like, I want to use brands to allow me to help people. I was like, I think this would be like a really cool thing. And I was just like freaking out. I was like, I think I just cracked the code. In some of my videos, I've literally given away over $1 million. And I didn't just want to make make money. I think if you have a goal in life, right? If you have something you're aiming for, I think it helps you work those longer hours. It helps you pull those all-nighters because you have something that you want to accomplish, right? You grind and you grind and you grind year after year after year after year. It definitely does hit you, but I had more reasons than just wanting to be famous or just wanting money. I like to do just unique, crazy, insane things and just keep the focus with positive helping. So whenever we come up with a crazy, insane idea, usually it does go that direction because that's kind of just the goal. In a perfect world, over the next few decades, I make tens of millions, hundreds of millions, billions, whatever it is. And then when I'm like 50, I'm just like, all right, I have all this money. And then we just go open up, you know, a few thousand homeless shelters or food banks. I don't know what it is, but what I do know is I want to help people. I like helping people because it just makes me happy and it makes me feel good. I like seeing their faces light up. I like seeing how excited they get. But for me, nothing is more entertaining than just seeing someone just go from like having a rough day to just going like, what? Just makes me feel good.